Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another mini series. A couple of months ago, we did the New England Patriots 10-year rebuild, and during that series, little 10-part mini series, I mentioned that there might be some other teams down the line that are going to need a 10-year rebuild. We all know the Patriots certainly did, and we won a couple Super Bowls in that time. I think we won 2 in the 10 years. I think it's been a couple months now. I'm not 100% sure how many we won, but I think we won 2. Maybe 3. Nah, I think we won 2. So then I was thinking, just a couple days ago, I was thinking, there's a lot of bad in the NFL around this time now. You've got the Cardinals, who are kind of mid to bad. You've got the Jets, who are rising. I'll give them that. They are rising. They've got a heck of a defense. They could be having Aaron Rodgers, depending on when this video drops. They might have already gotten Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Then you've got, like, the Raiders, who are probably going to be pretty bad. You've got, who else is a bad team? The Jaguars are kind of ascending now. I wouldn't consider them a bad team anymore. They're kind of an okay to good team. I would class the Jaguars at this point. There's a few other ones, but then there's one specific team, and you already know who it is because of the thumbnail, the title, all that kind of stuff. You already know who it is. It is the LA Rams, which is a weird saying because just a couple of years ago they won the Super Bowl. Now, to be fair, they did pay a lot of their players a lot of money to win that Super Bowl. They paid for Jalen Ramsey to get brought in. They paid for Von Miller. They had Aaron Donald already. They already had Cooper Kupp. They brought in Matt Stafford. They had Sean McVay as the head coach. They had a perfect mix. They had a lot of good Leonard Floyd. They had a lot of good role players along with those big-time star pieces. And they beat the Bengals and they won the Super Bowl. Then in this past season, this one that just happened, they were god-awful. Absolutely horrible. Stafford kept getting hurt. Aaron Donald was old. Jalen Ramsey's out of here now. He's not even here anymore. Von Miller went to the Bills in the offseason. I mean, they lost a lot of pieces. They got older. They got even more expensive. And they went, I think they won 4 games, maybe 5 games at the most. I don't remember exactly what the record was this past season, but they are in desperate need of a rebuild, and not just a rebuild. They are in desperate need of a 10-year rebuild. We want to bring the Rams back to what they were in the early 2000s, and then when they won the Super Bowl again. Not the mid-2000s to the mid-2010s when they were the worst team in franchise, like in the NFL. That's not the team that we want to be. That's where they're trending right now in real life before Mr. Juice gets involved. That's where they're trending now. We want to bring them back to the greatest show on turf era, or the Matt Stafford, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp Super Bowl champion. That's where we want to bring them to. So the LA Rams are going to be the focus of our 10-year rebuild. It's going to be 10 parts, 10 episodes, just like the Patriots was, and we're going to see 1 season per video. We are going to see how many Super Bowls, if any, we can bring back to this LA Rams organization because they are in desperate need of some help. This team is bad. So let's take a look at the roster, let's meet the team, and let's get started with the simulation of the first season of this 10-year rebuild. Hit that like button if you want to see more 10-year rebuilds of NFL teams. Let me know down in the comments other teams you think need a 10-year rebuild and need the special Juice touch, because you know that Juice touch, pretty magical. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get started. We sit at the 2022 regular season week 1, but this is technically 2023. I have gotten the most up-to-date rosters that I could find, and this team is bad. This team is old, this team is expensive, and this team is bad. The offense, bad. The defense, bad. We are in a tough spot. You can see why this team was first on my list to have a 10-year rebuild because this team is in trouble. Even the special teams is bad. This team is in shambles. We don't even have our first round picks because we traded them to the Lions to get a certain Matt Stafford. Let's take a look. Let's just take a look. Let's just have a look at our assets. We have a second round pick. We have a third round pick. We have a first round pick in 2024, but I don't know if they technically do have that. That might be a Lions pick that just didn't get moved over. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure if they have that pick or not, but we have it in here. I'm not going to complain about it, okay? I'm going to say that we are going to keep that pick, even though probably it should go to Lions. I'm not going to be, I'm not a fair owner. I'm not a fair head coach. I'm not playing by the rules. This is the Juice rebuild. This is the 10-year Juice gets in there, gets his hands all dirty up in the crevices and the cracks of the Rams. This is what we're trying to do. So I'm trying to use every advantage I got. But let's take a look at the team salary for this Rams organization. Obviously, we have Matt Stafford. He's under contract for 5 seasons. He's expensive, and he's not very good anymore, and he's old. We obviously have Cooper Kupp, who is still very good. We're going to look to keep him around, and Aaron Donald. These two are probably the only 2 players that will be here for the majority, if not the entirety of their rest of their careers and of the rebuild. Who knows how long Aaron Donald will have until he retires. I'm hoping that he stays here his entire career. Cooper Kupp, I'm hoping the same thing. These are the only 2 that are basically guarantees to be here until they either retire or the rebuild ends. So those 2 are locks. Everybody else is it's open for business. We are open season on anybody else. I will take calls on literally everybody but Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. And it looks like I'm going to have to because we've got some expensive contracts, we've got some expiring contracts, and we've got some bad players. So we're going to have to figure this out. It's going to be a long road. Don't expect us to be in the Super Bowl this season. I might even start the rebuild by trading away Matt Stafford just to guarantee us a spot that's bad. Although it might not be a good thing to trade him because we don't have our first round pick unless I could trade him to a bad team who has a top pick in this year's draft or who has a projected top pick in this year's draft. So if we could trade him to maybe the Falcons. The Falcons have a top pick. They have pick 8. They do need a quarterback. They have Desmond Ridder. Maybe the Falcons could use Matt Stafford, but then would Matt Stafford help them out and make them a better team than what they currently are? We could send them to the Giants. The Giants could use a quarterback, but they also have Danny Dimes. We could send them to the Lions. We could get our pick back. We could give them to the Panthers. The Panthers need a quarterback. I might send him to Carolina because Carolina doesn't really have anything else either. Can I send Matt Stafford for a first-round pick to the Carolina Panthers? I don't think I can get a first-round pick for Matt Stafford. What can I get? What's the market looking like for Matt Stafford? It is not good. I can get Cooper Rush, but I can't get any draft pick. It doesn't look like it for Matthew Stafford. Is the move to just keep him around? Is the move just to keep around Matt Stafford for a season and see where the chips fall? Chips? That could be a possibility. Who else? Who on this team could get us a first-round pick? Do you think Tyler Higbee could get us a first-round pick? It'd be tough. We could send him to the Patriots, but the Patriots never really have that great of a pick. The Raiders don't have Darren Waller anymore. There's no more Darren Waller, so they could use a tight end. What's their draft pick? Pick 22. A first-round pick in general would just be nice to have. So they don't think that it's good enough value straight up. I guess he's not worth a pick. We'll give him 2 seconds. Does that move the bar at all? Kind of, but not really. What about if I throw in a third-round pick from next season? Does that move it along? No, it doesn't. We're probably going to have to give a second-round pick next year to move into the first round. Trade declined. I could give them one of my many sixth-round picks I have this year. Trade declined. I can go a little bit higher, not too much higher. I can go 2 picks higher. Actually, that's a lot more picks higher. Almost done. It's going to take a 5th, I would assume. We'll give a 5th next year. if not a fourth. But I don't really want to give a fourth. It looks like it is going to have to be a fourth. It probably would have gone through if it was a fifth this year. We don't have a fifth this year. And the trade is accepted. Tyler Higbee a second from next year and a fourth from this year, or a fourth from next year, excuse me, for the 22nd pick in the draft from the Raiders. So we now have a first round pick, but we don't have a tight end. We'll see how good the Raiders are. I hope they're bad and get us a top 10 pick, top 5 pick. That'd be awesome. I don't think they're going to be. I'm thinking that our pick is going to stay around that same 20 range, but we'll find out. I'm going to simulate the season. We're going to stick with Matt Stafford for a year because I don't really think I can get anything back for him that's useful. So we will stick with Matt Stafford for the season. I will see you guys at the midway point, and we will see if there's anybody good in this draft class, and we'll see how good the Raiders are doing and how good we're doing. Hopefully, not very good. We sit at week 8, 2-4 on the year, which is where I expected. I'm surprised we've won 2 games, to be fair. We do have a tandem breakout for the offense, but let me quickly go to the standings and see just how good the Raiders are doing or how bad the Raiders are doing. The Raiders are also 2-4. The Chiefs are 0-7. What? The Chiefs are 0-7. I have never seen that in any simulation, fantasy draft or otherwise, that the Chiefs are 0-7. Who is on this Chiefs team? It's the same. It's the team for this year, like the 2023 season. Yeah, Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones, Tooney. Jones is injured. This is the exact same team that just won the Super Bowl and then added their players from free agency. Leonard Floyd is here. Although was he there last year? I don't remember. But this is the team for the 2023-24 season, the one that's upcoming, and they are 0-7. They do have a couple injuries. Offensive line injury, Chris Jones is injured. That's a big hit, and they do have bad morale. But I've never seen in any simulations, fantasy draft or regardless of what it is, I've never seen them 0-7. That's crazy. Let's take a look at this tandem breakout for the offense. I don't know who it's going to be. Man, Cooper Kupp took our last game over and couldn't be stopped. So Van Jefferson is talking about that. Do we praise? Are you ready to see me go off like that today? Yeah, challenge Van Jefferson. Don't ask me, show me. Show me. I guess it's time to put on a show. You call my number, you won't regret it. I'm ready to have a huge day. Okay. So Cooper Kupp earned 2,500 XP. And we need to get Van Jefferson 150 plus receiving yards, bonus goal. Touchdowns with Van Jefferson will give him a bonus rewards if his goal is completed. Ooh, this could be very big for Van Jefferson. He's a younger player. This could be really, really big for him. So, contracts for the season, re-signing players. The only guy that I would re-sign would be Rob Havenstein, but we also might trade him too, which is something I kind of want to do. We might as well do it right now just to further our chances of being the worst team in the league. And hopefully the Raiders continue to be the worst team in the league because we need them to be for our help. We now sit at the 11th pick. We traded for this pick at pick 22. We now sit at pick 11 in the first round. The Raiders are helping us out. I appreciate that, LA. And now we got to go to the right tackle spot. And we'll trade Rob Havenstein. I don't really see the value in keeping him around when we're probably not going to bring him back in the first place. He's aging. He's not that good to begin with. The Bills need a right tackle, but they are also the Bills, and their draft pick is going to be top of the round, or bottom of the round, I should say. So who else needs a right tackle? The Chargers need a right tackle, and they are the 17th pick. I don't think we can get a high first-round pick for Rob Havenstein, but we might as well try. The Dolphins need a right tackle, and they currently have 2 first-round picks. I'll try for pick 7, but I don't think it's going to happen. No. What about pick 18? Is there any possibility we get pick 18? This should be from the 49ers, right? I forget who that pick would be from. Can't get either of those without adding stuff in return. What about if I ask for... We could try to go back and get... Ooh, the Jaguars have pick 20, and they need a right tackle. Could I get pick 20? Pick 20 is more in the realm of possibility. I might have to go back and just try to get that Bills pick. I feel like the Bills pick straight up would work. Pick 16, we're not going to be able to get... A lot of teams need a right tackle. Let me just go back to that Bills pick. It's pick 31. It's the second to last pick in the draft. and straight up for Rob Havenstein gives us a first-round pick. So we have 2 first-round picks in this year's draft. One is from the Bills, which is going to stay at the bottom of the draft, you would assume. The other one is from the Raiders, which we hope is bad. I was trying to think of what I wanted to say there. Okay, so the strengths of the class this year is receiver, corner, and outside linebacker, which is something we need all of. So that's good. We are going to focus on let's focus on the West. Can I set the focus scouting? I have to do it nationally. I want to set the focus scouting on give me corner. Let me set the focus scouting on corners. The national focus. Let me do that. And then we will go and take a look at these prospects because I have no idea who's even in this. Oh, hello. Aries McCollum, a top 5 corner with A zone coverage. A 6'3" zone corner, grade 2 elite speed. Aries McCollum might be our pick. We'd have to trade up to get him, most likely, because unless the Raiders go or have the worst record in the league, which they'd have to beat the Chiefs for that, we might have to trade up to get this guy, but he looks really good. I'm going to put him on the favorites list. He looks really good. Is there a quarterback in this class that could be our quarterback of the future? Not Aiden Hayes. He has poor to marginal speed. He has got decent accuracies, but nothing crazy. I'm not taking a look at him. Alani Barksdale, an elusive running back from Florida State. You don't really see a lot of running backs in the draft classes this high. He's got great to elite acceleration and agility, solid to good speed, so he can get to his top speed quickly, but when he gets to his top speed, it's not the fastest. His skills, he's got an A juke move. He looks like a fun player, but he's not the fastest running back in the world. I'll have him on the list just in case so I don't forget him. And we need, this is BPA. This is best player available at this point, so we need to target everybody. AJ Ford, left tackle, not the greatest athlete, but he's very good fundamentally. A run block power, A stamina. We need to scout a little bit further on some of these guys. This class doesn't look that great in general. It just doesn't look like the greatest of classes. The quarterbacks are not really there. Who's this guy? Marlon Sanders from NC State. He's not that great of an athlete, and he's not that great of a quarterback in general. 6'1" out of NC State, not that good. Nobody else is really, like, giving me any reason to move up besides that corner. Aries McCollum looks like a freak. And this David Ankrum guy, he's got some good base stats. This could be a decent running back class. I'll have him on the list. This could certainly be a decent running back class. They all look pretty similar in their stats and in their skills. The top guys, at least, they all look pretty similar. Nobody has that burst of speed that you want to see from a running back. But these two guys, Ankrum and Barksdale, look kind of good. They look okay. Is there any free safeties that are freaks? Brian Lowry from Ole Miss has A hit power, A tackling, good to great speed, but his numbers are not that great. Otherwise, Emmett Flowers maybe? He's got B zone. That could be useful. Yeah, this draft class just doesn't look that good. So the first year draft class does not look amazing. There are a couple guys. I mean, that Aries McCollum guy is going to be a freak. I know it. He is going to be an absolute animal, and we've got to hope or do whatever we can to get the number 1 pick to draft him because he is going to be an absolute monster. It sucks that we just don't have our own pick. So we've got to assimilate to the end of the season. We got to cross our fingers, cross our toes that the Raiders are also as bad as we are, and we got to hope that the Bills have a down year so that that draft pick ends up getting a little bit higher value because we could use that draft pick along with some other stuff to trade up to get the number 1 overall pick. It's possible. It's not likely to happen, but we got to get that corner, whatever means necessary. We finished the season 6-11. You probably can't see that because my camera is in the way. We do finish the season 6-11. Don't make the playoffs. Obviously, we were last in the division, but that's kind of what we wanted. That's kind of where we wanted to be, was at the bottom, because we knew we weren't going to be that good. We do get a contract extension. I don't know why this team, maybe because they see the promise. They see the vision that I'm going to bring them a Super Bowl. Van Jefferson must have failed that challenge. That was a hard challenge. 150 plus receiving yards. That was a hard challenge. Cooper Kupp, still Cooper Kupp. Aaron Donald, still Aaron Donald. Other than that, we've got nothing really to show for it. Jordan Fuller's still a promising player, but there's a lot of bad on this team, and we've got some stuff. But we got to figure out where are the Raiders finishing. Did the Raiders make the playoffs? They did make the playoffs. But, oh, they did. They finished 9-8, and they made the playoffs. No. Why, Raiders? Why? The Bills also finished with the best record in the league, or best record in the AFC at least. The Raiders made the playoffs. No, I can't believe it. So what are the draft picks for the draft? 21 and 32. We had pick 11 at the halfway point, and the Raiders sold us. Why'd they have to go and make the playoffs? Okay, who had the worst record? It might have been the Patriots, actually. We should have traded with the Patriots. The Bears have the second pick. Who has the worst pick? The Patriots do have the number 1 overall pick. We should have gave them Rob Havenstein. So I will give you pick 32. You'll have to trade back. What do they want? They need a quarterback. Is this where we dump off Matty? Is this where we dump off Matty Staff? No, can't get that. What about if I throw in the 32nd overall pick? Because I don't want that anymore. Still not good enough. Ugh. We'd have to give up a D tackle. That's their second need. Do we have a D tackle that they want? Do you want Bobby Brown? You don't want Bobby Brown for the number 1 overall pick. Is there even a package that I could get? No, there's no trade packages for the number 1 overall pick. Why do you got to be stingy? I want that corner. That corner looks so good. But we do have, they need a left end. Do we have a left end that they want? Do you want A'Shawn Robinson? You don't want A'Shawn Robinson. I don't know if it's going to happen. We just don't have the assets. We do not have the assets. Do you want Troy Hill? No, they don't want Troy Hill. We have a lot of money in free agency, so that's good. Left guard, that's our last chance for something that they want. We have David Edwards. Do you want David Edwards? They don't want David Edwards. I don't think we're going to have enough. I don't want to trade both of my first round picks because I want to have as many picks as possible to get as many good players as possible. Although the draft class isn't that great, but then we could also trade down and get more. Like, there's possibilities. Who has the second pick in the draft? The Bears do. The Bears have the second pick in the draft. What is the most latest mock draft? Can I see the most latest mock draft? What do they have that corner going at? Is he still projected to go pretty high? So the second mock draft, he's not even up here. Where's he at? Oh my God, he's like in the 6th. This dude is almost, I wouldn't say generational, but this dude looks amazing, but he's fallen. That's promising for us. That is very promising for us because we could trade with a team that's a little bit easier to trade for and maybe get him. So we'll have to hold off on that until we get to the actual offseason and see where everything falls. We do have a lot of staff points though. Maybe we need to spend these. Let's see what we got. So, oh God, we don't have anything. I thought we had at least something. Okay, so let's focus on this thing. So let's go this tree because this side focuses on the quarterback, and I certainly want to have the quarterback all upgraded up whenever we do get one eventually. So let's do that. Make sure that this side of the tree is all filled out. Perfect. Player personnel stuff costs a little bit less. Defense coordinator costs. I think we have to do this all anyway, so let's just get that started a little bit. Boost impact blocking for the fullbacks or for the tight ends. Probably for the tight ends, I would say, would be a little bit better. Boost the carrying for the running backs is always nice, and then boost the run block power for offensive linemen. So we do spend, that's a lot of staff points we just spent, but that's pretty expensive, the stuff we bought. So we do upgrade the head coach a little bit. I'm hoping that that'll help us out next season. Let's advance to the Super Bowl and see where this season ends. I can't believe that the Chiefs were so bad. I mean, they didn't finish winless, which is not surprising. They are the Chiefs. The most surprising part was them being 0-7 at the halfway mark. That was pretty crazy. All right, so it's the Ravens and the Cowboys for the Super Bowl. Who is going to take it home? My pick is the Cowboys. They usually tend to do pretty well in simulation. And they do win 31-28. We have a lot of cap space, and we need bodies. We need people everywhere. Every position is a position of need on a team like the Rams here. DeMarcus Lawrence is your Super Bowl MVP. Joe Burrow wins the regular season MVP. Nathaniel Hackett's the coach of the year. Now we know we're living in bizarro world. Cooper Kupp wins Offensive Player of the Year, so he'll keep that X factor, which is key. Nick Bosa wins Defensive Player of the Year. Jahan Dotson and Aiden Hutchinson are the Rookies of the Year. You won't be able to see that because of my camera, but those are your Rookies of the Year. Staff, we don't need to worry about the staff stuff. We just need to keep moving on. We need to get to the re-sign period, which I don't think we need to re-sign anybody now that we traded Rob Havenstein at the halfway mark. So I don't think there's anybody else that we need to re-sign. We can take a look at retirements. Is there a key retirement or anything? Ndamukong Suh, Kevin Zeitler, Rodney Hudson, Kyle Long. A lot of offensive lineman. Rodgers is gone. Rodgers retires after one season with the Jets. Jason Kelsey retires. A couple offensive linemen for the Bills. Cole Beasley's gone. Nobody crazy except for the Aaron Rodgers move, I guess you could say was crazy. Couple Hall of Famers in there. Rodgers, obviously, Hall of Famer. Probably some offensive line Hall of Fame. Jason Kelsey, Dwayne Brown, probably in the Hall of Fame. Rodney Hudson might even make it. So there's a few Hall of Famers in that bunch, I would say. And players ready to negotiate, I don't think there's anybody here. Troy Hill, don't really care. David Long, Ashawn Robinson, yeah, everybody can walk. I don't care about any of you guys. You can all go. We can get the exact same value anytime. You are not significant at all. I apologize if you happen to come across this video, any of those real people. If you happen to come across this video, in the terms of this game, you do not matter to this team. So now we enter free agency. We have a ton of money, and I'm looking for some good players. We need bodies, and nobody is interested. At least the top players are not interested, so that's going to make it harder for us. Great. I love when things are harder. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a free agent. Now, he just got signed by the Panthers recently, so this isn't accurate, but when I loaded up this roster, he didn't sign by the Panthers, so his contract wasn't right. Tom Brady is here, but I don't want to go from Matthew Stafford to Tom Brady. Man, this class isn't that great, really. The quarterbacks are not really there. The quarterbacks are not really there. Geno's not that great anymore. Running backs, I mean, we have Cam Akers, so we could just ride him for a little bit, see how far that takes us. Receiver, we could use another receiver alongside Cooper Kupp, but the receiving class is not that great. It's not great. Sterling Shepard, I don't want to pay him that big of a contract. Michael Thomas is 30. The only guy I would consider paying a decent amount of money to is Mecole Hardman, I guess. If we bring in Mecole, give him a player-friendly deal, he doesn't want to come here, so we have to pay a little bit more. Wow, the 49ers must be offering him a bag. And I don't want to offer him that much. So we are going to withdraw the offer on Mecole Hardman and go back to the drawing board. Maybe offer Zay Jones a 3-year deal. I don't like that at all. A 3-year deal for, I don't know, $5 million, a total of $18 million, I guess. Maybe he signs that. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he doesn't sign that. But the receiving class is just not that good. We might have to save all our money. This class is not great. Irv Smith would be a nice pickup for 3 years. Do we have to battle anybody for him? We have to battle the Packers. Why is everybody offering all these teams or all these players so much money? I don't want to do that. I want to get people for the cheap. I'll offer him 4.5. That's probably a little bit too much for what the player that he is. It doesn't get us past, but that's as high as I'm willing to go. So if we don't get Irv Smith, it's not the end of the world, but I'm not willing to overpay for him when he's probably not going to be that great anyway. So let's see. Is there any offensive lineman? Man, it sucks when we're not... a lot of teams or a lot of players have Super Bowl chase as one of their key motivations, and we're just not there yet. So it's hard. It's very hard to get free agents when that's a big piece to people's motivations. Now, big market Los Angeles does help us out. That's why a lot of these centers are a little bit interested in us. Otherwise, they wouldn't be. Who was that? That was a 26-year-old Solomon Kinley, who's kind of interested in the team. And for a 2-year deal, I wouldn't mind having Solomon Kinley on the roster. He could at least be a body for us. He's a star development, younger center. He could help us out a little bit. Maybe he's a bridge kind of guy until we draft somebody. Fadokasi is kind of interested, but I don't want to sign guys just to sign guys. I'd rather keep the money. Akeem Hicks is very interested, but I'm not interested in you. You can be interested in me all you want. I'm not interested in you. Samson Ebukam is kind of interested. Trey Flowers is very interested. None of these guys are really pushing the needle. I'm not interested in any of you. Taki maybe, but he's not interested in us. Man, this is tragic. Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes is star development. He could be a nice bridge piece. We're battling the Titans for him. I don't want to overpay for these guys, man. I'm not trying to be in a bidding war for these players. They're not worth it. This is not the draft, or this is not the free agency class to bid against other teams for mid players. And that's what this class is. This is a bunch of mid right here. This is all I'm seeing is a bunch of mid. One offer for James Bradbury. Is it worth to bring in? It's not even worth to bring James Bradbury in because he's old. What are we going to do with him? Cameron Sutton's got 2 teams interested in him. I'll offer him a player-friendly contract. Do I have to outbid for him too? I don't, because I'm doing it, so that's good. Jeez, this is out of control. I can't offer anybody else because we've used our active negotiations for this period, but Nasir Adderley actually would be not that bad of a deal. We'll see what happens here. Nasir Adderley does sign with the Eagles, so that sucks. Our signings, let's go to the top 100. We get Chris Barnes and Solomon Kinley. Okay. Out of everybody that we offered, that's probably the best outcome we could have had. We still have over $100 million in cap space. We get a new middle linebacker. We get a new guard/center option. So, hey, I'll take it. Zay Jones is not going to come here. I'm not going to pay for Zay Jones. So we will go out on that. And it looks like we're just going to have to bite the bullet here and waste another season in a bad spot, because I'm not going to pay for these kind of players. They're not worth it. They are simply not worth it. We're just going to have to focus our energy into the draft and focus all of our energy on that corner, because I really think that corner is going to be special. I just hope that the other teams don't realize how special he's going to be and they fumble the bag and don't get him. So let's see the pro day. How good was he at his pro day? He is the 3rd player in the class. What did he do? He ran a 4.3. Oh my God, he's so good. He's a 6'3" zone corner with a zone. His skills are off the chart. Actually, they could be better, but he looks pretty good. He's gonna have, I would assume, superstar development. Not X Factor. I don't think he's a generational corner, but he looks very good. Alani Barksdale, he has good speed. I'm very intrigued by this guy. I'm very intrigued by him, especially that juke move. He's a 5'9", 207 running back. He could end up being a pretty good player. And maybe that allows us to trade away Cam Akers. I don't know. I don't really know. I need to take a look at the mock draft. I should have just went in from the other side, but the mock draft now has, where do they have both of those players going? They have Barksdale going 7, and they have, oh my God, he's fallen all the way to 13. We can certainly get that corner. What is going on with him? Why does nobody think he's going to be that great? He looks amazing. This is good for us. So we have pick 25. Where's our other pick at? Oh, it's both of those picks are down. Whoops. So we have pick 25 and pick 30. Okay, so we could maybe, with these new projections, and usually the CPU follows what the big board says. So if we can get to the top 5, the top 10, we could snag a pretty good corner. I also kind of want to get that Barksdale guy at running back. So we're going to have to make some big moves in the draft period to be able to get this kid, or both of these guys, because I think they both could be very, very good. I just don't know what to give up to get them. It's probably going to have to be Matt Stafford in one of the trades. I just don't know how we do it. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. Gonna be tricky to try to do this, but I think we can do it. So the final mock draft has Barksdale going 7, and McCollum has climbed up to 8. So we have to get top 10 at the worst, but we definitely have to get top 5 to get either one of them. Okay, so McCollum climbed up a little bit. He was like, what, 11th or something? I'm probably going to have both of them as my private workouts just so I can figure out exactly how good they are. So both of them are going to be private workout guys. That's probably going to take Ayers McCollum to 100%. Let's see. Who else did I like? Who else do I want as my other player? Private workout kind of guy? I don't know if there's another guy that's worth the private workout, really. Maybe an offensive lineman, I guess. Let's just throw in like one of the better offensive linemen, like, or maybe this guy, Jeremiah Sutphin. Sutphin? Is it Sutphin? I think it's Sutphin. Let's throw in either him. Yeah, let's throw in him. Jeremiah Sutphin, sure. You can be my other private workout guy. I don't really care. But now we know our goal is to trade up to get those players. We will simulate to the draft. This is where it's made, boys. This is the building blocks of the new franchise. This is the building blocks of our new dynasty right here in the starts in this draft. So let's take a look at just how good they are. So it does get McCollum up to 100%. How good is he? He's got A awareness, A block shed, A tackle, A zone coverage. I mean, he looks really good. Plus he's fast. The fast part has me very intrigued. What about Barksdale? Barksdale, we know how good he is physically. Ball carrying vision a B. His awareness is A to B, which is good. His trucking is a B. He's not the greatest route runner, so he's not like a guy out of the backfield you can trust really that good. But I mean, he's got A catching. I like Barksdale. I've turned around on him. I definitely like these two guys. I want to get both of them. I need to end this draft with both of those players. We need to end with both of them. So that is the goal. We are here at the draft. I'm not going to start it just yet because I want to trade. Actually, you know what? I'll start it. Who cares? Start the draft. Start drafting. We will pause. The Patriots have the #1 pick. I don't think we need to trade up for the #1 pick. Not judging by the big boards, do we need to draft or jump up to the #1 pick. So if we could jump up, maybe trade with the Dolphins or the Vikings, something like that would be a little bit better for us. It'd be a little bit easier, I'm hoping. So let's go talk to the Dolphins first. They have the 4th pick. There's Jalen Ramsey. If you didn't know, he's on the Dolphins now. 4th pick in the draft. What do they need? They need a tight end. We already gave up Higbee. So Matt Stafford to the Miami Dolphins. They don't need Matt Stafford, or they don't want him that bad. I could be willing to give you pick 30. Don't really want to give you pick 30, but we'd be willing to give you pick 30. They also need a right tackle, but we don't have Havenstein anymore. They need a D tackle. Do you want Bobby Brown? God, we don't have any assets. We don't have any assets. This is tough. Pick 5 with the Vikings, maybe? We just don't have stuff to trade. We don't have stuff people want. Middle linebacker, we have Ernest Jones. Do they want Ernest Jones? Not even a little bit. So what about safety? We have Jordan Fuller, but I don't really want to give up Jordan Fuller because he's one of our actual nice bright spots. Stafford. Is Stafford enough? Why can't I... What's going on? Oh, there we go. I must have hit the big button on accident. Do you want Stafford at all? Is it not going to happen? Come on. I want these guys so bad. They look so good. They look so good. Ernest Jones, the 30th pick, and a third rounder next year. We already gave up a second, or in a previous trade. That's how we got the Raiders pick. What about a third round pick? Oh, it's going to take 2 firsts. It's going to take 2 firsts. I'm not willing to give up 2 firsts because I want both of them. I want both of them. I don't think we're going to be able to get both of them. That's just not a possibility, I don't think. 2 firsts. It doesn't even get through with Ernest Jones in there. What about 2 firsts and a 6th? It would be 2 firsts and a 4th, really. Or 2 firsts and a 5th. No, that doesn't get it done. What about 2 firsts and a 3rd from next year? We have no picks from next year now. Trade offer accepted. I did not want to give up both of those picks, but we had to do it. We jump up to get to the 5th pick to hopefully claim one of those guys. Rashawn Elam goes number 1 to the Patriots. The Bears have the 2nd pick. They take Dakota Leak, outside linebacker from Tennessee. Jeremiah Sutphin goes to the Texans, also an outside linebacker. No offensive players have gone so far in the draft. Tavares McCullers goes to the Dolphins at 4, and now we are up. Where are they projected? They were projected to be like 7 and 8, right? They were projected to be 7 and 8. So we could possibly trade down. Or that could be kind of stupid, though. We could try to trade down a couple of spots, pick something up as an asset. That might be dumb, though. I don't want to waste it. Let me do something. Let me try to work some of my magic here. So, if we were to trade with the Texans, they have what pick? They have pick 6. Who was the pick behind us? I don't remember. I know the Jags were in there somewhere. Who was it? I'm looking for pick 7. Pick 7 was the Panthers. So if we trade back 2 spots to pick 7, we might be able to throw some assets for next season. Give me a 3rd and a 4th for next year along with it, and we'll call it a deal. No. Give me a 3rd and a 5th, and we'll call it a deal. Okay, how about if I throw in one of my many 6th round picks from this year? They don't like that. What about if I throw in another one of my many 6th round picks from this year? They don't like that. Okay. What about if I just ask for the 1st and the 3rd? Why is everybody being so stingy? Everybody is being so stingy right now. It still doesn't go through. Come on, guys. Stop being so incredibly stingy. I'm just trading back 2 spots. I'm trading back 2 spots and asking for a 3rd next year. That's not that much to ask for in the grand scheme. We still can't do it. I'm not going to be able to get a 3rd. I want to get something. I can't just trade back 2 spots and get nothing back. I have to get something else. Okay, this is more likely to go through. I'll throw in my 7th because I hate 7th round picks. Trade offer accepted. So we trade back 2 spots and pick up a 4th. So we basically traded for a 4th round pick next season. I better not have come back to bite me. Aiden Hayes goes. AJ Ford goes. Okay, so it ended up working out where we do end up picking up a 4th round pick next year. I mean, yay, we got a 4th round pick. I'm going to take the corner because I think the corner is going to end up in the long run being better. Aries McCollum looks super good. But I would not be surprised if that running back is the best player in the class. Aries McCollum, hidden development, 95 speed, 90 jumping, 91 change of direction, 88 agility, 90 acceleration. The hidden development is awesome. I'm hoping that it's more than just star, but most likely it is just going to be star. I don't think he's a generational player. His attributes did not represent that. But we did get the guy that I was set out to get. We got a franchise corner. That's our new Jalen Ramsey right there. Aries McCollum is our new Jalen Ramsey. When does Barksdale go? He goes the next pick to the Lions. Oh, God, I think he's going to be good. We just didn't have the assets to trade for him. We just did not have the assets to trade for him whatsoever. And we might need to use this draft, since it's not the greatest, we might need to use this draft as kind of like recouping all of our assets that we lost previous. Let's see. Let's take a look at this Torrey Young guy before we trade the pick. Good speed, 4.4, fastest strong safety at the combine. His block shedding is a B. His man coverage is a D, but he's a strong safety, so that's not the worst thing in the world. He's got B to D zone coverage. His tackling's an A. His pursuit is an A to C, which kind of worries me. He could be a pretty solid player, but do we risk a second-round pick on him? He's got the 1-2 projection. He could be our Jordan Fuller replacement. I just don't know if he's good enough. Is he good enough to take in the spot? This is a high spot in the second round. I don't want to waste a pick, especially when we could trade back. I don't know what to do. Is he worth it? Is he worth it? The thing is, there's gonna be good strong safeties in every single class, usually. What are my options in terms of trading? So we can't get a first round pick, which is not surprising, but I can get a second and a third from the Vikings, which could be massive. That could be very, very big. We could also get a second and a fourth from the Falcons. Okay, I really like this Vikings deal. I think this Vikings deal is going to end up being more valuable in the long run than Torrey Young ever could be. Because there's the possibility that he's a normal development player who just ends up not being that good. So maybe he's still here at pick in the third round. Is he still here? I didn't think so. I didn't think he was going to be. Now I think the option is just to trade the rest of the picks away, see how much value we can get for these picks. We can end up getting a second round pick from the Titans. That could end up being pretty big. A 7th rounder. We could either take the third, we could take the quantity of getting a third and a fourth from like the Patriots, or we could take the quality and getting another second round pick from the Titans. I think having the option, because we can get third and fours for a lot of stuff, but I think getting that second round pick is going to be very, very big. And now we don't pick again till the 6th round. So now we're not going to be able to trade for very much anything else except for 5th round picks, which I don't hate. Let's give me a 5th round pick here in the Raiders. At least we're getting some assets back. I mean, it's nothing like out of the realm of craziness or anything, but at least it's something. Give me a 6th round pick from the Seahawks, and then we're probably, this is I think our final pick in the draft. Oh no, we have this pick and another pick. So let me just go and trade these picks straight up for like a 5th somewhere next year, because we're not going to need them. So let me just give these 2 picks to the Chicago Bears. Sure, don't really care. Just give me a 5th round pick in 2024 and we can call it a deal. Thank you very much. And that is going to be our draft. We only drafted 1 player this year, which I don't hate. We just didn't have the assets. I had to trade 2 first round picks to jump up. Maybe that was the wrong decision. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Draft recap. How good was he? He's a 78 overall. I don't hate that. I don't hate that whatsoever. How good was Barksdale? Oh, Barksdale was the 83 overall. Is he an X Factor? Please don't let him be an X Factor. Okay. If he would have been Superstar or X Factor, I would have been super upset that we didn't get him. But the fact that he's only a star helps me out a lot, because we got the 2nd best player in the draft, or at least tied for the 2nd best player with McCollum. I think we did okay getting McCollum. I like that. But that's going to be the end of the episode. The first season went about as similar as I thought it was going to go. Next season hopefully is different. We have more draft picks. We're going to have to see how things go. We actually have our own draft pick this time, so if we're bad, we'll have it. But that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.